Recession's remedy, wealth hacks for ridding poverty from your life and thriving in any economy. There are so many lessons to be learned when it comes to alleviating debt fears and struggles. Individuals from all around are discovering that at times, lack of finances may really be worrisome and frustrating. It never seems that there is enough money to go around, you know. What may you possibly do to help alleviate some of the stress you're under because of your current debt crisis? The stock exchange has been having risky weeks for a while, and now is the time to make sure that you come through the brutal years bound to be ahead. Try to keep your job or make the most out of your home business, and try not to lose your home. I've been cutting down substantially recently. This book will pass along ways that you might want to consider in this disgusting economic climate. Chapter 1, Intro to this Recession and Debt. In this book I am hoping to supply you with enough helpful info about debt and the recession, to where you could potentially discover different ways to alleviate some of those lingering issues that exist. It's very crucial to find the answers you're seeking, way before things get too bad. There are too many individuals that try and tuck things under the rug because of either embarrassment, or they may feel as though there's nothing that may be done about it anyhow, so they simply try and ignore the issue behind it. Let me tell you from experience, discounting your debt issue is only going to produce more unimaginable issues down the road, which won't be so pleasant for you. Any debts that go unpaid for very long will finally all catch up to you, and because of waiting as you did, your credit rating, as well as your good responsible standing with a few creditors, will simply be completely ruined and add to the ills of the recession. Nobody wishes to think about losing all of their precious possessions, but let me tell you, if you carry on ignoring your debt condition, it may happen to you. If you don't pay your creditors, your assets may and will eventually be removed from you, one way or another, and I do know that none of us really want or anticipate that sort of thing occurring, right? The best advice I may possibly give to you all, when it comes to easing some of that horrid debt, would be to take action now, before it is too late. You do have numerous options when it comes to getting rid of some of that debt that has been simply piling up on you, and ways to fight the recession. However, nothing will take place unless you're prepared to take action and make it happen, so make certain you keep that in mind, okay? Debt relief may be something as little as following an appropriate budget, rather than spending money that you truly may not afford to spend anyway. Make your life a little bit simpler by doing something to get rid of that debt that's simply going to keep getting worse and worse if you continue down the path you're presently traveling. Don't let your debt issue get in the way and prevent you from enjoying life the way that you ought to be enjoying it, to the fullest, without so much stress happening daily. Get back the command over your life that you once had. It's up to you, because nobody else out there is going to mend things for you. Chapter 2, Learn to stay out of debt first. Too much debt is what too many of you know about, correct? Yes, debt may be a killer if it comes to attempting to make it financially. In this hard world that we live in, arriving at smart choices and being knowledgeable about earning cash, saving cash, investing cash, and not getting into too much debt, are crucial issues of interest that ought to be noticed much more than they are by many. Important info. Throughout this article I want to discuss with you all some helpful information that could potentially help to prevent you from getting into too much debt early on in your adult life story. A lot of people who are simply coming out of high school or college often make the same mistake. They rush right into a lot of different things that they may not afford to pay for, so they finance or charge it all. Doing this is what begins this terrible and occasionally painful cycle that is not going to do anything except cause you strain and struggle all throughout life. Knowing and comprehending simply how serious of an issue this may be is very crucial, and finding out this sort of stuff early on in life may really be really helpful and may save you a good deal of heartache later on in life. If you're working on paying off a lot of your debts that you've collected over the years, for one thing or another, debt may ruin any person's life story, so no matter how much cash you have or don't have, be cognizant that without even recognizing it quickly enough, debt may start piling up and start eating you alive. It is not something that a lot of us ever plan on having to deal with, but regrettably throughout life, a few things do tend to occur that we simply may not control, and oftentimes that unfortunate incident may cost you a substantial amount of cash that you or nobody else may ever truly afford. It is so really important for everybody to understand early on in life story simply how hard your adulthood may be because of uncontrollably rising debts every month. This is why you ought to be always be cognizant of the fact that it may indeed happen to you, simply as with anyone else that you know, and if you're cognizant of all the risks surrounding you, then you ought to be most definitely be more prepared in knowing simply what to do if that time does ever come for you, at any unforeseen moment throughout the duration of your life story. Don't let debt be your controller. You control all of your actions and try and be as responsible as ever, whenever it comes to how much and what you choose to spend your hard-earned cash on. Knowledge of your financial standing at all times, along with some great judgment, if it comes to spending those finances, will help to ensure that debt crises will never be a part of your life story. Chapter 3, Budget Basics. Getting a budget may not sound like the most exciting matter in the world to do, but it's vital in keeping your finances in order and betting the recession. Before you begin to produce your budget, it's important to recognize that in order to be successful you have to supply as much detailed info as possible. Finally, the end result will show where your money is coming from, how much is there and where it's all being spent. Start your budget here, accumulate every financial statement you are able to. This includes bank statements, investing account statements, current public utility bills and whatsoever info concerning a source of money or disbursement. The operative for this action is to produce a monthly average, so the more info you are able to turn up the better. Look at all of your origins of money. If you're self-employed or have any exterior sources of money, make certain to put down these also. If your money is in the form of a steady payroll check where taxes are mechanically withheld, then using the net income, or bring home pay, amount is all right. Put down this entire money as a monthly sum. Produce a list of monthly dispersals. Put down a list of all the anticipated dispersals you plan on receiving over the course of a calendar month. This includes a mortgage defrayment, car defrayments, auto policy, grocery store, public utilities, amusement, dry cleaning, car insurance, retirement or college nest egg, and basically everything you spend money on. Break up dispersals into two classes, fixed and varying. Fixed dispersals are those that remain comparatively the same monthly and are demanded parts of your way of living. They included dispersals like your mortgage or rent, auto defrayments, cable and or net service, garbage collection, charge card payments and so forth. These dispersals for the most part are necessary yet not likely to alter in the budget. Varying dispersals are the type that will alter from month to month and include items like groceries, gas, amusement, dining out and gifts, to name some. This class will be crucial when making changes. Tally your monthly income and monthly dispersals. If your end resultant shows more money than dispersals, you're off to a beneficial beginning. This means you are able to prioritize this surplus to areas of your budget like retirement savings or paying more on charge cards to wipe out that debt quicker. If you're showing a higher disbursement column than money, it means some changes will have to be established. Establish changes to dispersals. If you have precisely described and listed all of your expenses, the elemental goal would be to have your money and disbursement columns to match. This means all of your money is calculated for and budgeted for a particular disbursement. If you're in a state of affairs where dispersals are greater than money, you should view your variable dispersals to determine areas to cut down. Since these dispersals are usually not necessary, it should be easy to shave a couple of dollars in a couple of areas to bring you closer to your money. Go over your budget every month. It's crucial to re-examine your budget on a steady basis to make sure you're remaining on track. After the first month, take a minute to sit down and equate the actual dispersals versus what you had acquired in the budget. This will show you where you handled best and where you may need to improve. Chapter 4, Save Money. In this economic crunch time, you really need to learn how to save some money. Here are some tips, hints to saving. Food is amidst the biggest expenses, along with housing and cars, in most folks' budget. If you're seeking ways to cut down on your budget, your food should be one thing you view closely. There's almost always ways to cut down here. First, dine out to a lesser extent and fix your own food. This will save heaps of cash. However, shop sagely, make a weekly menu. Make certain to plan a leftovers night, always go with a list. Now stick to that list, don't buy anything not on the list, get a budget. If you go to shop, know exactly how much you are able to spend. Keep a running score as you shop to check that you're inside your budget. Don't go if you are hungry. You'll wind up spending a lot more. Consume a good meal first, and you'll be more probable to adhere to your list. Check your pantry and keep a list. Put a stroke next to each item for the number of items you have. Then, cross off what you use. This makes it much simpler if it comes time to make your list, retain your receipts, and then put down into a spreadsheet. This will be your cost list. Utilize it so you know if mass or sale items are a beneficial deal. Purchase frozen veggies. Since you're able to keep them in the deep freezer, they rarely spoil. Cut back meat. Meat is expensive. Design vegetarian meals many times a week and for additional meals. Look for specials. Every shop has specials. Make sure to look for them in the paper, or if you get to the store, use store discount cards. These may add together to bring huge savings over the long haul. Consume water. It's a great deal better for you, and a great deal cheaper. If it comes to preserving cash on your electric bill, people from one coast to the other recognize the big ones. Suitable insulation, water conservation, and lowering the thermostat may lead to major long-run power savings, but there are a great deal of little recognized things you're able to do around the home that may lead to substantial savings. Besides, we all recognize that the greatest power pig in the normal house is the washer and dryer. You're able to significantly cut down the amount of power you utilize if you upgrade your machines to newer, Energy Star endorsed ones, but if that is not in the budget, try throwing in a couple of dry face towels into your next wet dryer load. You're able to cut down each dryer load by as much as 20 minutes with the inclusion of 2 simple dry face cloths. Do not utilize the heat dry alternative on your dishwasher. Heat drying is entirely unneeded and many newer models don't even have the choice for it any longer. By merely cutting off this one frivolous process, you're able to start to save money on electrical power almost immediately. Use cold water. If you truly prefer to save cash on electrical power, wash all of your garments on cold, including your whites, and merely run one cycle a month on hot with whitener to keep your whites vivid. Ask about a free power inspection. Your local power company may provide the best free power preserving program of all. Depending upon which electric company you have, you might measure up for a free assessment of your house by a power authority. Let's take a look at assorted wise moves you are able to take to save on entertainment costs without cutting off the fun. Heading to the theater if matinees are being displayed may save you $2 or $3 off of the cost of a ticket. Even better is to wait till the movie appears on tape and pay $4 for a movie rental. Better, snag the movie from your public library where it's either free or will cost you a nominal fee. Get the discount. Zoos, parks, museums, galleries, and additional public locales commonly have leastwise 1 day per week where you and your loved ones may get allowed in for a discount. Check into their site to seek specials. Accompany a group. Your big family may not qualify for a group grade, but if you friends and neighbors who are interested in visiting the same theme park or would like to see the same show at the amphitheater, you might ask for a price reduction. Use memberships. Individuals who are members of AARP, AAA, or another big and long familiar association are frequently extended price reductions if they flaunt their card. Professional affiliations may occasionally bring savings your way likewise, so before you book your next room, do a car rental, or consider a flight. Determine which card works for you. Find gratis events, passing time at a public park, going to your local college campus for a public event, or seeing a state-run art museum typically means one thing: your time there is free. Chapter 5. If you have a business, aren't you just dying for a bailout like the banks? In times of recession, small business owners are the ones that get struck hard the most. Keep your biz safe, keep an eye on what you're paying out. Now, to a higher degree than ever, is the time for you to inspect your expenditures. How much is everything costing you per month? Are you wasting by allowing for the lights to be left on? Are you keeping up your equipment correctly, avoiding crazily big repair expenditures? Cut back your outlays. After observing of your expenditures, you have to cut back on them. You have to scrutinize for your small business costs is to discover where you're able to save up. If you outlay a bit much on paper, cut back on usage. Be watchful. Constantly seek directions to bring down costs and to optimize. You'd be amazed at how little deletions bestow huge savings. Let go employees only if you have to. Wages absorb a chunk of small business expenditures, but keep in mind that it will cost you a great deal more if you do everything yourself. What's more is the truth that it might be damaging to your small business if you replace existing employees with naive new hires. Let go of clients who are not worth it. There are simply clients who are not worth maintaining. They're normally the ones who bargain for the bottom price but are the hardest. Don't let your customers to step all over you simply because it's a recession. Time is as well income. And time exhausted on clients who are overly difficult may be better spent on promoting your small business to draw in the type of clients that you'd like to service. Find your niche. Observe where the majority of your business is faring from. Are they from old persons? Working mommies? If you discover your niche, it's simpler to yield more business in that certain demographic. Over the long term, you'll find that proceeding within your niche in reality makes you more fruitful for a lot less efforts. Expand your publicity endeavors. During hard times, the budget for promotion and advertising is often the first one to be trounced. A recession is all the more cause that you ought to proceed in your publicity efforts for your small business. Stay confident. It's hard to break a smile when everyone is busy spinning a fresh story of gloominess and doomsday because of the economy. But stay confident, all right? If you want your small business to remain afloat, don't shape your mind to fail. Be pleased even during uncertain times. Remember, a recession is simply a temporary condition. If there's a break, there will also be a blast. While you're waiting, keep yourself and your small business united by remaining confident despite everything. Wrapping up, we've seen the news about the tough economic times, or we are experiencing the crunch in our personal lives, so during these times knowing how to cut corners on personal expenses and changing spending habits is important. This book has provided steps that will help you save cash in practical ways that will impact you now and in the future. This book isn't the be and end all, as everyone's situation is different. But you should have gotten a few awesome ideas on how to begin acquiring a little more cash in your pocket. Hopefully this book has given you the tools to have a different look at acquiring and saving more cash. Please hit the subscribe button for the support of our channel and share our videos for more new upcoming content. We are very happy to create new ideas and review for everyone. God bless and happy listening.